This is your host, Bruce Hutchin, welcoming you to another informative episode of Whitetail Rendezvous. This is Whitetail Rendezvous Podcast, episode number 333. Welcome to another episode of Whitetail Rendezvous. Today we're going to connect with Jeff Beeler, and Jeff is the owner of AntlerGrow. Plus, he hunts mature bucks not only in Florida, but throughout the Midwest. And Jeff is going to share some of his tips about setting up on big bucks, on private land, and on public land. And tips, techniques, and tools that he's brought with him and is going to share with each one of you so you can hope to close the deal next fall. Also, he's going to speak about his product, AntlerGrow, and how that grows a balanced herd, how it adds bone to the 2 bucks in the second year. So listen up and find out how you can grow big bucks on your property. It's never too early to think about food plots. Whitetail Rendezvous has an ebook for you. Just simply text 33444 food plot to get your copy. Welcome to another episode of Whitetail Rendezvous. And we're going to connect with Jeff Beeler, owner and founder of AntlerGrow. Jeff, welcome to the show.
Hey, how you doing today, Bruce?
Hey, I'm doing real good, and we might as well start right off. Jeff's heading down the highways, heading to Harrisburg show, and he's got a truck full of AntlerGrow, and so if the sound isn't the best, well, it's real places, real people in real places, right, Jeff?
Absolutely, yeah. We're just we left the Keys this morning to stop by the plant and picked up a truckload of AntlerGrow, heading to Harrisburg, spend the next few days there. It's gonna be a good show. We're looking forward to it. I think it's 9 days long, and we had a good time there last year, and we're really looking forward to this year. Some TV personalities coming out there and some good friends, and it'll be a good time for sure. Look forward to seeing everybody out there.
Yeah, and I just had a thought. When you get there, if you want to do a live at Harrisburg show, we need to talk about that. That might be fun if you got who's who or what's what, at the booth. Say, hey, I got a buddy with Whitetail Rendezvous. You want to do a 5-minute segment? Just
absolutely. Oh, we could definitely do that. We could definitely do that. We got Spook Span's going to be there for the weekend, and he's a good friend and good help with the AntlerGrow product for years now, and just promoting and not only doing that, but he uses the heck out of it. He's been very happy, and it sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, I think that'd be good for you and good for us and good for, the guy that you just mentioned. So let's jump right into this, folks. I support a lot of different companies throughout North America by having them on the show. And I've connected with Jeff and fact is I want to go down the Keys and go fishing. So that's why I'm sucking up to him.
Not a bad idea, right?
So tell us about AntlerGrow, how it began, and all the rest.
AntlerGrow is a micronutrition mineral. It's, for lack of better words, it's plant food. What happens is it's all the minerals, trace minerals taken out of the ground, made into a package that is a concentrate. It's a liquid concentrate you dilute with water. And you spray it on natural forage or food plots or crops, and it adds all the nutrients to it that the soil is lacking. It enhances the plant growth, and it also, when you are what you eat is basically what it boils down to. It's got cobalt, molybdenum, manganese, magnesium, copper, zinc. I can go on for days. All the minerals you're used, trace minerals you're used to using, but the plant absorbs it. It lasts for months in and on the plant. You go out throughout the country and you do soil samples, and the soil's lacking in all these minerals. If you have big bucks in certain counties in certain states, it's because the soil is nutrient rich. In return, the animals are showing their true benefits from eating a nutrient-rich plant, and it's great. It makes it even playing field across the board, throughout the country, throughout the states, and it's used on ag, it's used on everything, and we just kind of introduced it to the hunting world, about a year and a half ago. We've been doing it for about 15 years on agriculture, orange trees, soybeans, corn, all that kind of stuff, but just wanted to put it in the hunting industry just because we thought it was something that was lacking. It was a lot of people that we deal with, as friends, saw the potential in it because they really enjoy what it did, and we just thought the public should be able to get hold of it. So we've been working on it for quite some time to get it out to the public. And like we said, we launched about 18 months ago, I believe.
Now, are you an agronomist?
I'm sorry?
Are you an agronomist? That's a guy that, agricultural and plants. And
no, I am not. No, just an outdoorsman. How it started was from spraying orange trees with some friends. Some friends of ours are part of the AntlerGrow family, and we were helping them with their orange groves, and we noticed that the deer were eating orange tree leaves and the grasses around them. Well, after a couple of years of spraying this micronutrition, the package that we had started with, we noticed that the deer were getting bigger and healthier, and their racks were bigger, and there was more turkeys, and it was just mind-boggling. So we said, let's make a jacked-up formula of this package, and so we started doing that, and spraying our leases and our hunting properties that we had ourselves. And that's how the whole thing started about 15 years ago. And as time's gone on, we've got it down to where it's a sellable product. It used to be a granular product that's diluted with water, but you don't get all of it out. A lot of it goes away. It's not chelated. By turning it into a concentrate, it's chelated now to where the plant absorbs it almost immediately. There's a sticker and a surfactant in it. The sticker holds it to the plant, so it's rain fast. The rain can't wash it off. So it gives it time for the surfactant to work, which opens the pores in the plant absorbs it, goes down to the roots, and comes back up. So even if a deer comes along and takes a nip of it, or you cut the grass or whatever you might do, it grows back with it. And it's amazing how it works. It's just, it's all natural too. That's the beauty of it.
Okay. Just walk me back. So how do you use helicopters to drop it on your food plots, or how do you apply it?
That's the beauty of it right there. You just hit it on the head. We wanted to make it to where it was user-friendly for anybody to use. It's 1 ounce of product per gallon of water. So you can use a little 1-gallon pump-up sprayer. You put 1 ounce of product in there and fill the rest with water. Or you can go to a 4-gallon backpack sprayer, or a 4-wheeler sprayer, or a tractor, a helicopter, a crop duster. It just depends on what kind of goals you're trying to reach and how much property and all that. We have 3,000 acres in North Florida, which is our test facility, and we do use helicopters. We do use backpack sprayers and 4-wheeler sprayers and little 1-gallon pump-up sprayers. We'll walk around bow stands and spray the natural forage with that. But we use mostly tractors and buggies, with booms for our food plots and stuff.
Okay, so let's go back to the beginning. Okay, so I've got this product. Now, walk me through the whole year starting right now. It's February 1st. When am I going to apply? When am I going to reapply? And when am I going to see the benefit?
Okay, that's a good question. And right now, everything's dead. It's dormant. It's your crops are out of the ground, or your natural browse is dormant. So, anyways, when spring comes, depending on where you are in the country, later, the further north you are, probably mid-April, early May, something like that. But down in the south, it'd be end of March, something like that. When you get your first flush of spring, on all your natural forage, natural browse, you want to spray that, because natural browse is the backbone of all deer herds. You cannot beat Mother Nature in this game. It's the best food plot we got going. It was here long before we got here. It'll be here long after we're gone. And so we concentrate on that in the first flush of spring. And then probably 2 or 3 months later, we'll go back and spray that same stuff, because the plants use all the nutrients and energy to grow, to do all that. So they're using all those nutrients that they're not getting out of the ground. So they're getting it through the fuller spray, and the deer are going along eating that. We don't do little areas. We do as much as we can reach, because you're benefiting all wildlife, the turkeys, the quail, the pheasants, the deer, elk, mule deer. We can go on for days about that with dealing with different ranches in Colorado and other places in Kansas and Iowa and Illinois and Ohio. But we mainly do it in Florida just because we have such a long green and growing season. And after you get done with your early summer spray, then only spray around your bow stands, your hunting areas, because they know the smells, and they know it's the copper smell is what they smell. That's what they're attracted to. With the taste, once they taste it, they can tell a nutrient-rich plant from one that is not. And so they crave it, and that's why they go after that more so than anything else. But in the early fall, we'll spray, or late summer, early fall, we'll spray around our bow stands and all that. And then when our crops come up, or whatever we're planting, greens, or your cereal, rye, oats, wheats, whatever you're planting, we'll spray that after it's been up for about a month. So we do 4 sprays a year, and that covers the whole property for a year round. As far as benefits, we noticed our poundage going up the first year. Poundage big time on our deer down in south, and all around we sprayed. And then you'll start seeing the antler development on the following year, because whatever the deer gets for nutrition, as far as the mineral and all that he gets this year, he shows the benefits next year. It's nothing's instant gratification, no matter what you have as far as growing. The attractability, yes, that's instant gratification. But as far as making benefits to the herd, you're going to see that come leaps and bounds the following year. You know, it's a regimen. It's very simple. It's very easy. I love it because it doesn't rot. It doesn't mold. You know, it's there. It doesn't go anywhere. You can go spray 10 acres, 5 acres, or whatever you're trying to do, and you know for the next 2 months, no matter rain, shine, no drought.
Hey, folks, you just get an example of real places and real people. Jeff is heading up I-95 to Harrisburg. He dropped the call, so we'll get him hooked up, and we'll be right back.
I don't know what happened there. We got
That's
cut
okay.
off.
That's going to happen. So just
yeah,
that's going to happen.
Especially when we're across the whole United States from each other.
Yeah. So people, we just dropped Jeff again. Real people, real places. And hey, right now I'm just going to give a shout out to Whitetail Stalker. We're doing some social media.
You want to know the secret about growing big deer?
And I just pulled up Jeff's website, so they're talking to me. But anyway, I'm not crazy today, folks. I'm just traveling down the road with Jeff Beeler. And Jeff, what were you just saying about a couple seconds ago?
Hey, you want to know the secret about growing big deer?
Did I lose you again?
I got you.
Yeah. So we were talking about application, and you're going to see the results, not the first year, but the second year. Explain why that happens.
Well, what happens is the deer stores all the nutrients in it until the following year. You know, you're going to see the weights go up. You're going to see the body getting healthier and all that. But the horn growth, they store what they did the year before into that year. You know, a drought year, you're going to see your inches go down on your horn growth. And, you know, in a wet year, you're going to see it go up. You know, that you kind of put everything into equation, what happens. But as far as the nutrients, it stores that stuff in there, and it expresses it the following year. You know, it'd be like us eating bad for a month straight. We're not going to see it the first couple of weeks, but after a month, we're going to notice we feel like garbage and we put on 20 pounds.
Gotcha.
Well, it's the same thing with the deer. They're gonna when they get all the nutrients they need, they're gonna express their full potential as time goes on. There's no instant gratification in this. You know, we deal with deer farmers quite frequently, you know, that grow deer for a living, and you know, they're working on genetics. We're out in the wild, we're working solely on nutrition. We have a little bit of genetics, but we're work more on nutrition than genetics, you know.
That's interesting. I've been watching Keith Warren show and about deer farming. Now,
yes,
that's a commercial application of this product. It isn't just us DIY hunters, wannabe farmers who got food plots, but you know, that's a commercial application. Now, could we use this for cattle and hogs?
Yes, we do.
Sheep and llamas?
Absolutely. No, you can't use it for sheep and all that because they can't handle copper. They can't handle all that. They don't have the stomachs like that. But cattle, yes. For your elk, mule deer, deer, whitetails, antelope, all that, and cattle, yes. But for your sheep and your goats, no. That's a whole different animal, and that's not intended for that. It's too much nutrition for them, the way it is.
Okay.
They don't have all the places to put it.
Now, what about Ted Turner and his thousands of buffalo? What about them?
Now, absolutely. Buffalo, yes. Buffalo, your turkeys, your quail, your pheasants, all that, yes. The sheep and goats, no, but everything else, yes.
Wow, that, you know, if you're listening out there, this is kind of a first thing for me. I've had 320 guests, and Jeff is really getting down to the nubbins of what we need to do as DIY hunters, food plotters, you know, to grow our herd. And that's what everybody wants, because we're QDMA says, you know, we're moving from just brown and down, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to shoot a deer, he's on your property, have at it. There's other people that want to grow deer, want to get 4.5-year-old deer, 5.5 and 6.5. But we're becoming more attuned to what my deer herd needs. And by using tools and resources like Jeff is talking about, you are going to grow your deer herd. No question about it. If you just go to QDMA and read all their information and scientific research, then you're going to grow your deer. So, you know, Jeff, give me some thoughts about why you like to hunt and mature deer.
I love hunting, especially mature deer. It's just a different animal. When you get an animal over 3 years old, he's not, you know, you're going to see yearlings and the spikes in the the 2 years old and all that. When they get over 3-4 years old, they're just a different animal. I mean, they've been there, done that, seen every hunter in the woods you could possibly think. You know, they know all the nooks and crannies. It's like shooting an old doe. You know, even that's a trophy in itself right there, because those things are smart. Why do I love hunting them so much? Just, I don't know. You wake up in the morning and the only thing you think about is hunting. I guess we just have a bug, and outdoorsmen get it. You know, they eat, drink, and sleep hunting. And, you know, the ultimate grail is to get a mature deer. You know, the rack size, yes, but mature is more important to me than shooting a 200-incher, you know?
And thanks for saying that, because, you know, I talk to a lot of people, and you know, sometimes we get down to the numbers. And I remember one kid in Vernon County, he was so tickled to death. He took a 192 first year on private land on a farm in Vernon County, Wisconsin. And we talked about that. But it was interesting talking to him. He said, Bruce, I hunt mature deer. Yeah, this deer came in, I figured it out, and I got him. But day after day, you know, I'm looking for mature deer. And why do you think that's changed in the hunting industry, Jeff?
What, hunting mature deer?
Yeah. Why do you think that's changed?
I think what happens is, from my own experiences, when I first started hunting, you know, it was brown and down, you know, and everything was a trophy. And as time went on, it's like, hey, how can I get a little bit better at this? How can I leave the land a little better than I found it? How can I enhance what is surrounding me? You know, because there's less and less land as more and more people. So I think you kind of mature as a hunter, you know, and wanting to get more out of it by hunting mature deer, you know, and then like turkeys, anything you do, you want to leave it better if you found it, but you want to. Sorry,
that's
going
okay.
Around the car.
All right.
Yeah, no, it's just as you get older, you just want to do better. I guess it's just the young guys nowadays. They kind of get the wrong picture, I think. You know, everything on TV is this monster, you know, and the social media, everything is a monster. Well, if you go to different states, everything, you know, 120-inch might be a monster in some counties where somebody else in another county would laugh at it, but that's all it is. But that's a mature deer, 4, 5, 6-year-old deer. That's all you can be in that place, because that's all available. Then you go to some other counties where 180s are more common, you know, and like in Florida, we don't have 180-inch deer running around. We just don't. You go up to Ohio and other places like that, yes, you will. You got the potential for sure.
You know, it's interesting. I was just talking to Cody Cook, Heartland Pride Outfitters, Kansas, Nebraska, and he says no matter what he does in Nebraska, you know, 135, 3.5, 4.5, 5-year-old deer, or 5.5-year-old deer top end, but he's got a 135 target point for his hunters. Goes to Kansas, that all of a sudden becomes a 150 target point. And I asked him the difference. And the difference simply is that the way the Nebraska DNR has their rifle season right in November, right smack dab in the middle of the rut. So they're killing every single age class. And in Kansas, they don't do that. So even though you want to have mature deer, you have to figure out, what is my land producing, and is that the best I can do? Then you got to hunt those deer. Your thoughts?
Absolutely, 100%. You can only hunt what's available. You know, when you go different places, like you just said, different rules. You know, you got gun hunting during the rut. You know, there's a lot more animals going to get taken. You know, and when you got bow, you know, and different places, everybody has their different goals. You know, and which is, as a hunter, it's fine to have different goals. You know, you don't want to badmouth anybody, and you don't want to, you know, everybody's equal, but just different people have different goals. Yeah, for sure. On, you know, 130s, 140s, 150s, depending on where you are and all that. And there's a lot of places you'll see that have 150 minimums, you know, 160 minimums, but they have, you know, it's a well managed place. You know, and a lot of people don't get to go on guided hunts. You know, the average person goes and hunts public land or their family land, or they're with their friends, you know, and they just kind of get some meat for the freezer, which is fine. But everybody has their different goals, you know, and I think as hunters, we all need to come together and grasp that and embrace it, actually, you know, just not badmouth anybody and lift anybody up any further than what they should be, really, just because at the end, you're there to, you know, eat what you kill and enjoy nature.
Let's talk about your 216 whitetail hunts. Where were you? Why were you hunting there? And who the guys or gals you were hunting with?
216. I did not even shoot a deer in 216. I shot a doe during early bow season, actually first day. And I had some opportunities at some other deer. You know, some good deer, just never had good chances with the bow or gun as far as opportunity shot-wise. But we have our main place in Florida that we hunted. We didn't really go out of town this year to do any other hunting. I hunt with some buddies. I hunt with my daughters, both my daughters, a 7-year-old and a 19-year-old, and hunt with my wife a little bit. It was fun. I think we got 3 turkeys during spring with my 7-year-old, and all together, and we got some hogs. And as far as deer, that was it. A couple buddies shot some good deer that hunt with me. The road's coming to an end here. Sorry.
All right.
Sorry, I'm in bad spot right now.
Okay, you want me to call you back in 5?
We're good now.
All right.
Ahead. Sorry.
All right. No. So you're talking about the hunting tradition. Let's just stay right there because you got the family and you got some your crew that you hunt with. Where'd the hunting tradition come from for Jeff Beeler?
Well, it's actually a funny story. It's grew up in the Keys, down the Florida Keys, and one of the guys I bought my first boat from had a hunting camp out in the Everglades. It's all swamp. So everything we got around on was a swamp buggy. And we used to go out there and spend 6, 8, 10 days in the Everglades camp, which is about 10 miles through the swamp from a dirt road. Only way you can get there is with a swamp buggy. And we'd go out there and we'd actually hunt off the buggy. We didn't even have tree stands. This is 30-something years ago, but we just out on a buggy. You just sit there, back up into the palmettos and sit there and hunt. And this was one of those things, if it was brown, it was down. And you're only allowed to shoot bucks, no does, actually in that management area where we hunted, where the camp is, and still have the camp today. And it's kind of funny, actually, how we got started hunting, but that was the closest thing to the house, and we just did what everybody else did, and we had a lot of fun. My oldest daughter learned how to drive a swamp buggy before she could drive a car out there in the swamp, and she's 5, 6, 7 years old. So that was a lot of fun.
Now, did you have uncles, fathers that took you hunting as a kid?
No, none of my family ever took me hunting. Actually, none of my family ever hunted at all until I got into it. No, not at all. Just friends and just mentors, I guess. Older people want to pass it down. To be honest with you, that's how they grew up hunting in that area, and they actually hunted in full tracks, and then went to half tracks, and then swamp buggies. And I got into it in the half track swamp buggy stage, right there in between there. And I think there's 760,000 acre management area down there. And back in the day, it was all a bunch of squatter camps. Well, as time went on, when the Everglades National Park took over everything, they got rid of everybody that didn't own property, and we were one of the few camps that still own property in there. So that's kind of how that all went down.
I find that interesting, that you start hunting later in life, and now you're, all in, as they say, in the outdoor industry and producing products and selling products and making it better. And I didn't know all the background on the cows or the commercial end of the business, plus the orange groves and all that. How does AntlerGrow that application work on fruit trees?
It works absolutely awesome. It works awesome because the tree uses so much energy to produce fruit, and this basically gives it the energy and all the nutrients that it needs to do that naturally. Like when you get around lakes, you can't fertilize, you can't do this, you can't do that like the way you could. So, but the nutrients is the biggest thing that's lacking because the soil. It's like when you leave a crop, you leave a field fallow for a year or two. It's because all the nutrients aren't going to be able to give to that plant to produce a crop that they need. So that's what this does, is add all the nutrients to it. So you can keep planting because you're adding the nutrients through a foliar spray that the plant's getting immediately, not having to work a taproot down to get it, to pull it up. It makes it so easy for the plant to thrive. And therefore all the wildlife thrives. It's just a chain reaction by adding the nutrients to it. It's pretty funny, but fruit trees do absolutely great. We dealt with a farmer, still deal with them actually in Colorado, that sprays his hay fields, hay and alfalfa. They've had a family ranch since 1870. 2 years ago, they sprayed in August, 100 yard by 100 yard square. And while they were doing that, they were taking, staking it off. They knew exactly where it was. And I actually visited that site in September. And, we talked about a few things, and I asked them not to spray again. We wanted to see how long we could get it to last in that plant. Well, it went through the entire winter, but this is one application on there. Remember that? One application. Went through the entire winter, all the snow and everything up at 9,000 feet. all the freezing, and now that May, they came back twice as full, twice as green. They got 3 extra cuts out of that hay and alfalfa patch, out of that 100-yard square, than they did on the rest of the 1,700 acres. And that was along with the mule deer and the elk and the cattle grazing on it. So 3 extra cuts they got out of that 100-yard square, and they only sprayed it 1 time. So, that's a family from 1870 that's been farming and ranching, and they were just blown away.
And folks, I don't want to turn this into an infomercial, which we have.
No.
But, we're talking about growing deer. And, yeah, I get off on the commercial side, just that's because of who I am and the people I know, around places. And I can help them do better what they do. And Whitetail Rendezvous can do that. I'm not going to back up and apologize for sharing some stuff that I haven't heard before. Now, there's a lot of companies out there, and some of you guys have been on my show. And, if it's send me an email that you're not happy, I get that. But I haven't exactly heard what I'm hearing today. And I know about trace minerals. I know about that. I know about attractants. But we're talking about a commercial application, not just growing our deer. So that's why I'm going down this road, folks. And, if you want to say something, all you have to do is email at whitetailrendezvous at gmail.com. So, Jeff, let's go back and talk about Harrisburg. I heard you're heading to Harrisburg. Is that where you're heading to?
That's where we're heading. I believe we're lower end of North Carolina now. And, we left at 3 o'clock this morning, and we'll drive till probably about 2 hours away, and then that way we're there first thing in the morning to set up.
Now, what's so special about Harrisburg? I know you were just out at ATA, as I was, but what's so special about Harrisburg, and why do you want to be up there?
Well, I'm doing it in the past, last year and on. It's you meet so many people from so many different states, from overseas, and it's the biggest show around. It's as far as the consumer show, it's 9 days long. That's a lot of people at the doors, and we're factory direct. We are it. We do everything. We're on the ground. We're in the field. We're taking phone calls. We're doing whatever it takes, just for people to know what we're talking about right now. And it's just such a good avenue, and there's no better place to sit there and talk hunting for 9 days amongst fellow outdoorsmen, and then just the camaraderie and everything that you get out of it. And we've built some really, really good relationships from people that we met in the past few years because of this show. There's a lot of good shows out there, but this one has just got so many people from so many different states. I mean, we talk to people from Texas and Iowa, Illinois, Kansas, Africa. I think we talked to one guy from Spain last year, Canada. A lot of the other shows, it's very, very, very regional, within 3 or 4 counties, But this one it collects people from all over. That's what we go there.
Well, I appreciate that. And as I say out here, we're burning daylight and we're at the soft stop of the show. So why don't you give some shout outs and then we're going to wrap the show.
Sounds great. Hey, guys, if you want to check us out, you can check us out on AntlerGrow.com. And we also, on our social media, we have AntlerGrow on Facebook and at AntlerGrow on Instagram and Twitter. So I really appreciate it, Bruce.
Well, on behalf of thousands of people that are my listeners, my tribe at Whitetail Rendezvous throughout North America, this has been fun, and it kind of took me place that I didn't think I was going to get to on the commercial side, and that's kind of fun, and we'll talk about that once we break off here. But on behalf of Whitetail Rendezvous, Jeff Beeler from AntlerGrow, safe travels, my friend, and I can't wait to connect after Harrisburg.
Sounds great, Bruce. Thanks for your time.
On the next episode of Whitetail Rendezvous, we welcome Dan Johnson. Now, many of you know Dan from 9 Figure Outdoors, or he's the co-host of Wired to Hunt. Dan is going to take apart and tell each and every one of you about running and gunning for whitetails. He's got it down to a science, folks. And if you're going to listen to any show, this is the one to listen to.
Thanks for joining us. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for another episode of Whitetail Rendezvous, where you can listen and learn from the experts so you can be more successful on your next hunt. Until next time, listen, learn, and succeed.